have an amazing guest with us. This is Allison, and we are going to talk about what makes her happy, um, especially after coming out of a dark place or coming out of depression or coming out of a negative situation. So it's very good to have you here, Allison. Why don't you fully introduce yourself to everyone?
Hi everyone, it's a pleasure to talk about what makes me happy in life, and yes, my name is Alison. I live in France. I am born and raised in France. Um, what else can I say to introduce myself? I am a cheese maker, but I am also an English teacher. I know it's kind of awkward, but it's odd, but it's what I do every day.
No, I think that's amazing. Making cheese and teaching people. That's great.
And yes, I studied my whole life. Um, how do you say in English? Fermentation for
Okay.
food. So anything that touches milk, meat, cereals, so I can make beer, cheese, and charcuterie. I think that's how you guys pronounce it.
Right.
Even if I want to say charcuterie, that sounds fancy. And yes, and in 2016, I had the opportunity to go in America. That's how
Oh,
my English got like that. And
right.
I was just an intern at the beginning, and later on in 2017, I got the big opportunity to go there as a job, and things went great. I was the manager of a cheese plant in close to St. Louis, Missouri, and and I was making goat cheese. And later on, I went back to my house, and but the whole story, so you guys can understand why I went to this dark place and I got back on track, like you can say.
Yeah.
I met this guy in America, and I was engaged, and I was supposed to get married, and I went back to France to clear a K1 visa. I don't know if some of you guys know the 90 Days Fiancé show on HBO,
Right.
but that was
Yeah.
kind of my life without the without
Drama and
the
the
drama
cameras.
and all that. It's kind of dramatic. It's really a stressful process, and it demands a lot of money and a lot of trust and all that. Um, but what happened is that we decided not to continue this relationship. And during COVID-19, during lockdown in France and in America, and here I am. I was back at my parents at 28 years old, no car, quit my job, basically I was starting again from scratch, and now I'm finally back on track. I'm actually talking to you from my new apartment with no furniture in it.
Yay!
It's great.
Congratulations.
It is great.
Well, let me ask you this then. So you guys broke up because of the pandemic, or you guys broke up before the pandemic?
So what happened is that we probably spent more time away from each other than together.
Right.
And on my side, I was ready to leave absolutely everything that I knew. I have no brothers and sisters. I'm an only child, and my parents were happy for me because I was happy. My friends were happy, but everybody was kind of sad, and I was not sad because I was living for what I thought was the love of my life,
Right.
and it felt great. Honestly, I was happy. I was not leaving because I wanted to be in America because I had many opportunities to work there. I was leaving because of him. And what happened is that I had my interview for the visa, and it got accepted. And the guy said, "Congratulations, you have your visa." I was like, "Yay, so happy!" And then this Rona thing happened, and I had nothing in the mailbox, and I was able to call nobody on the phone at the embassy, and it just went bad. And so what happened is that he was like, the universe is against us. It's a sign
Oh no.
from the sky, blah blah blah, and changed his behavior. And I quickly understood that it was over, and he decided to terminate our relationship. It's not my decision really. It was his, but I have to expected. It
Right.
took me a long time to to come to this conclusion, I have to say, but um, I think it's part of grieving. You go through different state of emotion, and you just mature yourself with the decisions that people took for you are taking for you, and you just deal with it.
Yeah,
And
you definitely have to learn that
hmm
people are free to do what they choose. Hopefully,
yeah,
they choose something that makes you happy, but a lot of times they
yeah.
don't, and you have to accept it. Yeah.
Yes, and that's the big thing in relationships. You have to love yourself enough that if the other person leaves, you still happy. But of course, you're gonna be heartbroken for a little bit, and you're gonna have to grieve for a minute. But at the end of the day, I was lucky enough that I had family and amazing friends to hold my hand to through this process. And right now, I'm in a happy place.
So let me ask you this because this is everyone knows that when you're in a relationship, you have a breakup, you're sad, and then you can kind of get over it. In a lot of ways that people can quickly get over it is going and partying with friends, or just being around friends, or doing something outside that keeps you productive. However, you have to go through a breakup when nothing was available to do.
Yes,
So what
yes.
what are some of the things that you did to try to bring yourself out of, as you called it, a dark place because of this?
So things happen. So while we were under lockdown, I was already back at my parents because I was saving and I didn't need to rent a place because I knew I was leaving. I really didn't build anything on my own. I was preparing for living for America.
Right.
And when lockdown happened, I went to my best friend's house. She lives alone with her mom, and they have a beautiful house. It was better than my parents' apartment, and we had the pool and all that. So I was crying in the pool, but it was okay because I was in the pool,
Right.
and I had my friends with me, and we were chatting. And every time I was like, kind of like in a panic attack type of behavior, like shaking and
Anxiety. Yeah.
anxiety, like high stress anxiety. You don't want to eat, you don't want to do anything. I
Right.
start exercising to just feel tired, to be able to have a good night of sleep, because sleep is so underrated.
Right.
It's so underrated, but a good night of sleep helps you restore to for anything during your day.
Definitely.
That and always like kind of keeping my mind busy, um, to focus on something else than what was making me sad. So
Right.
we cook, we play board games, we watch movies, we watch the like everybody else the Tiger stuff on Netflix.
Right.
That was
Oh
great.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was that time. It's already
It
an
was.
old thing now.
I have to say that TV show got me through like the first couple weeks of having to come back to America. Like it was the main thing that I watched. Like I focused on that so that I wouldn't cry about being back because it was so
It's
crazy.
serious. It was completely crazy, and I remember that watching it. So my friend came to America when I was there, so she was not too shocked about the culture and what they show in the documentary. But her mom was like, "Is that really how America is?" I was like, "It's not how America is. It's how a part of America is. It's truly, it's part of American culture. This whole thing is so crazy. It's how it is, and that's one of the main things that when people ask me how is America, oh, it's so great. You should go back there. You should go there again. I'm like, you know what? When I left the first time in 2015, the only image that I had in my head about America was New York, Los Angeles, all those things. And I ended up
Right.
being so still, I'm 30,
Oh wow.
something like 526 people live there.
Right.
There's nothing but a gas station and a McDonald's, and and I was making cheese with a couple that had no children, and that were in the night for 20 years. So
Wow.
yeah, and I'm a city girl. I mean, I live in a city in France. It's not a city like you can imagine New York or Chicago. It's smaller, but it's still a city. I can walk to go to whatever I want. There's buses, there's train, there's everything that you will find in the city. And I was stuck at the farm, and it was a big cultural shock. And I will even go to the church on Sunday because I wanted the full experience, you know. But
Right.
at the end, at the beginning, I was really not depressed, but shocked that my life changed this much. Where the experience I was not having it in the first place, and then I just enjoyed the countryside of America. And I was kind of sad that this side of America is underrated by tourists, by other
Yeah.
people. They
Yeah.
only think about the big fancy place. I don't know why everybody just like to want to go to Miami. Miami is just this big buildings and see. Okay, fine, but there's so many other things to do when you go on the countryside.
I think
Any place.
because of media and movies, mostly what you see is Las Vegas,
Yes,
Miami,
yes,
California, New
yes.
York, and every so often they'll throw in Texas.
Mhm.
But usually those are the main states that people see. So I think that's why. And even Miami, like you said, it's mainly buildings in the strip that they
Yeah,
show on movies. It's only like 5 blocks. That's it.
exactly.
So I don't think people realize it's not the entire city does not look like that.
Oh yeah, no, I
It's just one
honestly,
area.
yeah. What I tell people is that 90% of America is not like we imagine. I
Exactly.
90% of America is just country.
Yeah.
When you drive from, I remember driving with my ex fiance from St. Louis to Texas. It's just it's just field. It's just cornfield and field again. And
Yeah.
suddenly there's a big intersection with tons of fast food and all that. But that's pretty much it. It's so there's it's just yeah, it's just land and land and land and land. And and people don't know that.
Yeah, it's not highlighted because I think because it won't actually bring in any money. Like
No, exactly.
it won't bring in any money. Not
Unless
like
you have a tiger story under it,
exactly.
it's not gonna bring anything.
Exactly. All right, so you said that your happiness now is in the little things. So you mentioned exercise. Are you back to making cheese again?
Yeah, so I was lucky enough that so for 2 years I kind of put my career in cheese on the side. I was still a consultant for the company that I used to work for in Missouri.
Uh-huh.
So that was great. It was just a random question sometimes twice a week, sometimes no question for a couple months, but still I was still happy to do it because it made me feel like they I was needed, which is so great when you are in a dark place that people need your advice and your opinion.
Right.
Um, and right after the lockdown was over, I sent a resume to a call that in French is a MOF, which it stands for Meilleur Ouvrier de France. It's the best worker of France, and you have that in any kind of field really. This guy that I work for, his name is Pierre Gay, and he's a MOF, best worker of France, in cheese making and in cheese affinage. He's a cheesemonger basically.
Okay.
I went there and I I don't want to say I'm overqualified for the job, but it's it's little, but it's a family business, and that's why I caught my attention because I didn't want it to work for a big company where it's just a worker and if you 5 minutes late, that's it, you over. I needed something that was more um, where people are close to you and they see your potential and they want to keep you. And the job at the end of the day, it's okay, even if it's not the best job in the world. I right now I just love it, and they give me a lot of projects. It's so fine, and yeah, I'm back to this, and it makes me so happy. And I'm lucky enough that I was able to get schedule that still leaves me a little bit of time to teach English to adults. And yeah, I'm really happy with what I'm doing right now on the professional side, which is really important because I spend probably 50 hours a week working. So you need to be happy when you wake up every day and you go to work because work can make you even more depressed than when you are
Exactly.
done.
Exactly. I think that if I think what's wonderful so far, I've had a couple interviews. Before you, I was speaking with a friend of mine in South Africa, and she is a seamstress basically, and she's trying to create her own clothing line. And she told
Yeah.
me it started from when she was a child. Um, so when did your love of cheese or making cheese begin?
So I started so right after it's not high school, it's middle school here. So right after middle school, I was in eighth, and the principal was cool with her, and he said your daughter has potential. She needs to go to what they call sales schools here, because
Uh huh.
basically when you learn something in sales, you can learn it the in a higher level of study, and you can do something with that. But you have different type of diplomas that you are not really going to do anything with it. And I wanted to go to beauty school. My mom was not having it, and they had to drag me to that one school where they were teaching how to make cheese, and I didn't want to go. I was like, I'm not a farmer. I'm not going to grow vegetables. There's no way I'm
Right.
going there. I was 14, being so petty, didn't want it to listen. I remember my mom putting my hair in the car, and like, now we're going to get out. We're going to hit that school. We're going to smile on your face because she was not having it either. And she was
Right.
right. She was definitely right because at the moment I saw the laboratory, I knew that I was not going to sleep at my parents. I was going to sleep at school. I was like, okay, it's the deal. Where do I sign? And I signed at that school for 8 years. I did 2 years to get a first degree in it was laboratory quality control, and we had to do some internship in the cheese factory of the school. And the first day that I went to the cheese plant, like today, Alison, you're going to the jacuzzi. Like jacuzzi sounds cool. Well, the jacuzzi is just a big bath of boiling water and baking soda, horrible, and you just have to lift like cheese bowls and all the equipment that you have to work
Oh
with.
wow.
I was like, what is that? What am I even doing? I'm wearing a hairnet, some plastic boots, and an overall. I hate it. What is that? And when you finally at the end of the week you see that you turn milk into cheese, I was like, that's cool. I wanna do that. That's really awesome. And then I did 2 more years to get a higher degree where you learn more things. I quit school. I was kind of done with it. I was at the stage where I wanted to have salary and live on my own. And
Right.
I thought that with what I had, I would be able to do things. But I just ended up working at the grocery store, which would be the equivalent of what Whole Foods. And I was selling fish with my dad
Oh
and
wow. Okay.
cheese and charcuterie. And maybe after 2 years, uh, when I was basically done, that customers come to me like as if I was just an idiot. I was like, let's go back to school. And
Like
I
okay,
was
I'm
like,
done. I'm not about
yeah, I
to
was
do
like,
this.
yeah, I'm done.
Not about to do this.
Yes, yes, no. And I was talking to my like what used to be my coworkers, like, yeah, at the beginning I was there just for a small contract, but then I decided that I wanted to stay, and I've been here for 10 years. Like, not happening, not me.
Right.
It's just not possible. Went back to school to get a what you call a technical degree. That I think that's what it is
Right.
in America.
Yeah.
Got a technical degree in fermentation in the same school. It was hard. It was probably the hardest thing I ever had to study, but it was great. Got that internship in America, and when I was done with that, I decided to study food, like safety, things like that. What you guys
Right.
call what would be the FDF for you?
Right.
And I went to the pharmacy university over here in Grenoble. It's a big city here. And I started to work as a technician, a sample technician, where we go to restaurants, whatever customers we had to take samples of food, water, whatever it was really. And I felt like I was like a threat for people that I was working for. Like when you arrive, you kind of like the hygiene lady expects to wash the hands with bleach, and they're not quite happy to see you really. And I decided to quit after just 2 months, and that's how that big opportunity to work for the farm in St. Louis was
Came
back on the
through.
table again. Yeah, it
Okay.
came to it, and that's how it happened. And I worked there for about 2 years, and went back to France to get the K1 visa, and then you know the rest of the story.
Right.
Now I'm back working for that cheese shop, and I see where I'm.
Okay. So at this point, um, we'll move into those four questions. So at this point, what would you say is your definition of happiness?
I think that you I think my definition of happiness is what makes you happy at a certain time. If if uh if you happy if right now you like you listening to this and you don't feel happy, then there's something that you do or that you don't do that needs to change. You need to find it, and you need not to be too impatient. That was my problem. I wanted to have everything at the same time. Like right now, I know that I need to be patient. I just got the apartment in a city that is overcrowded. We live really close to Switzerland. We have to fight against Swiss salary, which are 3 times higher than what we get in France. And we got that. And I was impatient to like paint everything, clean everything, and just like need to relax and to see what you have, and to of course you need to set goals, and some of them are going to take more time than others, but yeah. I don't know
Okay.
where I'm going with what I'm
No, that
saying.
was good. Excellent. Patience is very important. I think the main point is that very often people are in so much of a rush to get
Yeah,
to where they think happiness is, not realizing happiness is part of the journey. It sounds a bit
yes,
cheesy, but it's true.
that's
So,
part. Yeah, every day you get like every day you get to laugh at some things. Every day you learn from other people. Every day is a new day, and every day should be a happy day. Of course, there's days that you wake up you're just unhappy and you don't really know why, but
exactly.
it's part of the process of finding what would permanently make you happy. It's not money. It's not love. It's not none of these things. It's a combination of I think everything.
Everything. Yeah, I agree. All right, second question. So, do you believe in heaven? Why or why not?
I think I want to believe in heaven. So I'm not religious. I was baptized as a baby. I it's funny because whenever I am in a dark place, I always go to the cathedral to light a candle and to say, please help me, even though I'm not religious. I never had a religious education from my parents.
Right.
But I want to believe in heaven because otherwise, there's no reason for us humans be to be decent human, if I can say, to be honest, nice towards people. And I think that more than heaven, I believe in karma, and I believe that if I do something wrong, it will come back at me twice as worse than what I did, if that makes
Right.
sense.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
So
Okay.
I want to believe in heaven and karma that yeah, if you do bad things, you will go in a nice place, and your journey every day feels great. And if you do bad things, then you never know when it's going to happen. But I know for sure that nothing good is coming for you because you
Right.
bring bad vibes. You really bring bad vibes to you.
All right. If you were given one wish, what would you ask for and why?
Wow. I think that I would ask for I would ask to live forever for me and a few people. I think
Yeah.
if I could, because I definitely love life. That's why, yeah, that's why I don't take irresponsible risks or anything stupid that would put my life in danger or anything like that. Yeah, I right now if you tell me, Allison, if you take this pill, you live forever. I think I'll take it.
Okay.
Live forever.
All right. And last question. So, if you could choose to be any animal, what would you be or choose to be and why?
Oh, I will be my cat
Okay.
because because this guy, let me tell you, he sleeps all day. He looks cute, whatever he's doing. He sleeps all day, and nobody is telling him to do anything more than sleeping. And he
Uh,
has the nicest life. Everybody wants to pet him. Yeah, I would be a cat. I
yeah.
would just not care and live my life. And yeah,
Be
like a cat.
completely nonchalant. People still
Yeah,
love you and
yeah,
call you pretty. I totally understand.
exactly, exactly. You don't need to put any effort in what you do. You still love,
Yeah.
and yeah, and you you don't pay rent, you don't pay food, and you sleep all day. I would definitely be a house cat. That's what I would.
Yes, definitely. And it would be even better if I was like the house cat of a millionaire. You know?
Yeah, yeah. That loves me so much. Yes,
That loves you
definitely.
so much. Yeah. All right. Well, Allison, this was great. Thank you so much for taking the time
Thank
out to
you.
have this conversation with me. And while the rest of the audience was not part of our beginning part of the conversation, this is our first time actually speaking because we
Yes,
became
it is.
friends on Instagram. So,
Yes.
so it's just amazing because now I feel like this is a real friendship brought to us
For
by
real.
Instagram. Yeah. So it was great talking to you today for the first time. But hopefully it won't be the last.
Same for me. And come to ask you whenever you want. You have a place to stay here, for real.
Be careful, I will get sick. You
Oh,
don't want that
oh,
with the world
but
over
for
here.
real. I live in the postal card type of place. I don't know if you guys know where Alison is, but just Google it and you'll see. It's just wonderful, and everybody should see this place.
Okay. I'm gonna
I'm
actually
renting
listen.
one right
I'm
now.
really serious. Like once because France has been the one place I've wanted to go to, but I have not. Like I traveled Europe, but as an American, and probably anyone not living there, France is viewed as the romance place. So I thought I don't want to go by myself. That was
Yeah,
the
I
main
don't
thought.
understand. Like I always wanted to be a little island, or like to just be in American brain for a minute when they land in France and they have to take the metro. Then it smells like piss and there's pigeons and there's rats and Paris is dirty and
Right.
it's so far from reality. But
Right.
it's just yeah. Believe me, where I live, it's people are gonna think that I'm repping hard for my city, but just Google it and you'll see you
It's
see
beautiful.
it's
It's worth it.
wonderful. It's worth it. It's much better than Paris, believe me.
Okay. I'm going to keep that in mind. So, all right. Well, Allison, thank you so much again. And we'll talk again soon. And everyone that's listening, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and find your happiness. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for listening to my podcast, English Progress Over Perfection. The app that I'm using is called Anchor. And if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's one of the easiest ways to make a podcast. Let me explain it a little bit further. The best thing about Anchor is that it's free. We all love music. Also, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. about Anchor is that it distributes your podcast for you. So you'll be able to hear your podcast, or your audience will be able to hear your podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so many more. You can make money from your podcast as well with no minimum listenership. So it's basically everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So if you're interested in thinking about having your voice be heard, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Again, that's ANCHOR dot FM.